everybody? This is your boy Gershon, and welcome to Enter the Nerd. So, before we get started, I just want to say rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. So, obviously, that is the actor who played the Black Panther in the MCU. Now, obviously, he tragically passed away due to colon cancer on Friday, and obviously, I think everyone's kind of taking it hard, not just because of Black Panther, but his whole body of work. And he was diagnosed in 2016, and everything he did after that, he did while undergoing surgeries and chemotherapy, which just shows you his work ethic and his commitment to his art and craft, which I admire greatly as someone who considers myself a creator, and understanding that that type of person exists in the world. It's like, if you can go through all that and commit to your art, it's like, what's anyone else's excuse, right? Honestly, so that's like a huge inspiration, and I'm honestly thankful for the stuff that he put out there. I think we should all be, especially, right? And it's crazy because the only thing that I could even think of, like any actor that I could think that even did anything relatively similar in recent memory, I could be wrong as others, but there was Andy Whitfield, the actor in Spartacus. He also had like non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he tried to come back for season 2, and just it wasn't working out. And he also eventually passed from that as well. But still, like, he wasn't out there making movies and shows while he was doing it. Like, Chadwick Boseman was really doing his thing. But just moving past that, right? Just don't want to get caught up in that. I do want to talk about today what the MCU could do going forward with the Black Panther role. And I've seen tons of people on the internet talking like they should do this and go this way. And I think there's really 2 ways they can go. They both begin the same, but how they end is not. And let's just get into that. Also, I want to get into later on in the video how the MCU should just move going forward when it comes to Black characters in general. So there are 2 distinct ways that I believe they can go about this. They both begin with Shuri becoming Black Panther, but it's what happens afterwards that is really the difference maker, right? And then after I talk about that, we're going to talk more about like what I believe Black characters should be, how they should be portrayed going forward in the MCU. But right now, let's talk about the 2 ways that they can move forward with the Black Panther character. So number 1, Shuri becomes Black Panther, and it's permanent, right? Let's just say they give T'Challa a permanent death in the series, and they have Shuri become Black Panther. That is all well and good. I just would need them to have Shuri reflect who she is in the comic, because that Shuri is actually like the leader. Like, she's aggressive, warlike. She is still a genius, right? Still has all that, makes all the technology. Not all technology, but she can do that. She still has the same mental fortitude, but she's also like just as good as a martial artist as pretty much anyone that's there. Like, she has all of it. And in the film, she shouldn't have all of it. She's still like very young, looking up to like, she's like a child prodigy, but like still she's not really on the physical side. She has a little blasters, but she's not really much of a fighter. But it's very different in the comic. I think they could bring her there. They just have to. I think they could write whatever happens to T'Challa makes her have to transition to something much more ruthless, because she feels like she has to be that way to lead a country. And Okoye could literally like train her and teach her how to fight differently. Okoye has done that in the comics with a gentleman named Casper Cole, or White Tiger, to become a replacement for Black Panther. So there's precedent to that as well. Now, the second thing would be to have Shuri be Black Panther, but just like in the comics, it might be temporary. So if, for those of you who don't know, she becomes Black Panther after T'Challa is injured during a battle with like Namor. And when that happens, Storm, who's the queen at the time, pretty much bequeaths her the title of Black Panther. Now, once again, because that's temporary, that means they would wind up recasting T'Challa. And I know a lot of fans are not gonna like that, and I get it. But I can see a world where they do that, but just won't do it immediately. Might do it like later down the line, where they feel like the wound just isn't as open, right? But yeah, I can see that happening. But bringing Storm back up, a lot of people want the Storm to be in these movies. I don't, and there's a reason why. I feel like it wouldn't do her any justice, right? Because they met at first in a comic in the 1980s, right? And then 30 years passed by, and then in 2006 they got married, and then they broke up, and then 2018, like Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote something trying to like rekindle that again. Here's the thing: most of their stories are they're away from each other. Like they have nothing to do with each other. Like what happened with Chris Claremont isn't even like isn't even mentioned for like 30 years until 2006. However, my biggest thing is they were their own person. When they actually did get together, they were their own people. One is the king of Wakanda who had done so many things for Wakanda, had all these trials, and then Storm has also had all her own adventures and her most poignant stories with the X-Men. So, and the reason why it didn't work between them was because Storm isn't just like a powerful mutant. She's like a mother figure for mutants, and she's a leader of the X-Men, and she has led the team. Versus, obviously T'Challa, who's like his first duty is to his people, and he even says like that his first duty is that first, and husband second, and that's literally pretty much the same thing for her. Like she has to look out for her people first. That's their priority. And if they just put her in a film, none of that stuff would be there. All the nuance of their characters wouldn't even be there. She would just appear as just like, maybe they might put her in as like some type of person they thought was a goddess, like, part of like her origin story. But that's not really what it is. And I want Storm, just like any other character, to get her just due. So I wouldn't want her just shoehorned into that movie. I would love her to be an X-Men and get her full just due, leading the team at some point, all that, right? But yeah, so once again, Shuri being Black Panther is most likely what's going to happen. It's just, is it going to be permanent? Like, if it's permanent, that's great, because she can be part of the Illuminati. They can make her have like a personality that's very similar to her brother and her like mixed together. That'd be kind of cool, and they can write it well. Or they could just recast him later on, and like I said, I can see a world where that happens. But also, when it comes to the MCU, I really want to make sure the way they handle Black characters going forward is a lot better than they have been. And here's what I mean. So a lot of people were online, they were like depressed, like how am I, like there's not going to be any other Black characters, Black male characters, especially because a lot of people just never read the comics, and they're hearing people say Shuri's going to be the Black Panther, and they're like, oh, but what about Strong Black? Where are they in the movies? Here's the thing. In the comics, there are tons of Black characters, man, woman, and they're prominent. They're all over the universe, all over it. So you don't have to worry. It's just about the Marvel being able to actually translate that and really put them on screen. And don't just have every Black character appear in Wakanda. Don't do that. Like, that's what I feel like. You put Storm, and then you have Ryan Coogler wanted to put Patriot there at some point, and I'm like, don't do that. Like, put them all over the Marvel universe. I mean, and there's tons. We have Blue Marvel, who I mentioned, Night Thrasher, who's pretty much Batman, and he leads his own team of the New Warriors. Obviously, we have Captain America or Falcon, like the Sam Wilson Captain America, which is coming out. And obviously, you know how, well, if you watch the video I've had, I don't really like the fact that he's Captain America and he could just stay Falcon because he was an original character there. But that's neither here nor there. He's at least they're giving him shine, right? But there's so many. The X-Men have tons of characters. The Avengers have other characters. I mean, let's not forget there's a upcoming Blade movie coming out as well. So there are plenty. I just want to make sure. Oh, and even Monica Rambeau is going to appear in WandaVision. So, and they did her dirty in Captain Marvel. So let's see if they can redeem how she is in WandaVision, right? Let's just see how that is. They can do that right, then they'll make me have some confidence in what they're going to do going forward, right? And that's what I want to say. Like, don't give up hope. Just look at the other characters that actually exist in the comics and hold Marvel accountable, or just maybe just companies in general, hold them accountable to put tons of diverse Black characters, and it doesn't only have to be African royalty. That's cool. That's just one part. That's just one part, right? And honestly, yeah, that's it. We just want to talk to you about what they could do going forward, and how the MCU can handle Black characters. And you might not agree. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know below if you agree, or if you don't. We can talk about it. And once again, I hope we all honor. I think the best way for them to honor Chadwick Boseman's memory is to not let it end with him, but to also just add more characters there. All right. So once again, keep reading comics, keep watching movies, keep learning, and remember to enter the nerd.